So I've been in the ecom space for over a decade, and I've seen brands that continue to scale profitably year over year from 7-8 figures plus. And I've also seen brands that plateau and eventually die off in a couple of years. And it doesn't necessarily mean that these brands are bad, or maybe they sell bad products or anything like that. Some of them actually sell really, really cool products. But the problem is their inability to continue scaling profitably. So their cost per acquisition continues to go up until they hit that break-even point and eventually start losing money. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what's preventing your brand from continuing to scale profitably. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do about it so you can continue to generate more revenue and scale profitably year over year. So let's get into it. Who am I? My name is Hussam, and I've been in digital marketing for 15 years and in ecom for over a decade. I've generated well over 8 figures in extra revenue for our ecom clients. I've spent millions of dollars on paid media, and I've even had my own stores in the past as well, one which I was able to scale from 0 all the way to 7 figures in less than 16 months with a very, very minimal budget. So I'm also the founder of Power My Marketing, which is a full scale email and SMS marketing agency. And we like to work with ambitious ecom brands and help them continue to scale profitably using email SMS. So the only way to scale an ecom brand profitably is to generate more new customers and to get them to buy over and over again. This is the only way to continue scaling an ecom brand profitably. And it sounds super, super simple, but it's actually not that easy. And a lot of the ecom brands that I talk to either focus on acquisition, basically try to generate more new customers, or focus a lot on retention, which is trying to get existing customers to buy over and over again, but they don't focus on the two at the same time. So let's go through the scenarios if you only focus on number one. So what will happen if you just focus on generating more new customers? So the ad costs are going to continue going up. And basically, I have a saying that 3 things are certain in life: death, taxes, and rising ad costs, because the more you scale, the more your cost per acquisition is going to go up. It's just a given. And then your CPA is going to continue going up. So basically, maybe your cost per acquisition on Meta, let's say, was $20, because initially you're going to be targeting the low hanging fruits, the audiences with the highest interest. And then as you scale further, your CPA is going to continue to go up. And then eventually you will break even and even start losing money. And this is where the stress really begins when I see it with most ecom brands. So they will be typically testing a ton of creatives to get a lower CPA. And then they might think about increasing their product prices to increase their profitability and hence increase their ability to scale a little bit further profitably. And they might also think about cutting marketing budget or even letting go of some of their employees. So I've seen this scenario so many times, and it's not really fun being in this scenario. So let's go through the scenario number 2, which is basically focusing on generating more revenue from existing customers. So what will happen is that you will maintain your revenue figures maybe for a couple of months, for a few months, and then the revenue will start falling off and your customers are slowly going to churn until you have none left. And every single customer churns. So it doesn't matter if you sell like a life extension elixir that can add like 5 years to your customers' lives, but eventually people churn. Maybe they forgot about it, maybe they overslept, or whatever the reason is. You have to account for the fact that every customer churns, and you have to continue replacing churning customers with new customers, basically. So what I see brands do when this happens. So when this happens, I see brands go harder on trying to make money from existing customers. And they do this typically by offering a lot of discounts, maybe offering a lot of promos, and just basically try to annoy customers and try to extract as much value or money as possible from existing customers. The other thing that will happen is that these brands are going to devalue their brand by overselling. And not only that, but they will also annoy customers and result in a negative sentiment. This is not a good scenario to be in. So let's talk about the bucket analogy, which is my favorite analogy to basically illustrate this both of these scenarios. So let's say the top here of the bucket is the paid media, or maybe, you driving traffic at the top of the funnel, awareness traffic, try to get new customers. And let's say that the bottom of this bucket is retention, which is email and SMS. So first, let's talk about the scenario where you're focusing on retention and you're not driving new traffic at the top of the funnel. So your retention funnel is optimized at the bottom here. So you're converting as many people as possible, but there is no one coming at the top of the funnel. So basically you're going to churn through your existing customers or your existing emails until the performance starts declining. So this is not going to work for you long term. So in the second scenario, let's say your bottom of the funnel is not optimized at all and you're leaking a ton of money, value, or in this case, water at the bottom of the funnel. So even though you're driving a ton of traffic or awareness or acquisition at the top of the funnel in terms of water here, the bucket is actually leaking because it's not very optimized. And whether you're losing basically 20%, 30%, or 50% of the value of each dollar you spend on advertising at the top of the funnel, this actually has to stop. It's obviously not possible to retain 100% of the value and convert 100% of that traffic into customers, but the more value you can retain from each of those visitors, the more competitive you are and the more you are able to spend more at the top of the funnel to scale your brand faster. And this is a more common scenario I see with a lot of ecom brands. So they basically get very high on paid media because it's very exciting, you know, especially when an ad starts to work really well and you start scaling it, and then you see your revenue maybe doubles or even triples in a matter of weeks. It's very, very exciting. But then they forget to focus on the bottom of the funnel until their cost per acquisition starts to creep up. Then they start breaking even, and then eventually they start losing money. So this is the most common scenario I would say I see with most ecom brands. So if you want to continue scaling your ecom brand profitably, then you can never stop either of these. So no matter what happens, you need to continue innovating and figuring out ways to acquire new customers as affordably as possible. So this means that you test a ton of creatives, a ton of hooks, a ton of angles, try to figure out innovative ways to reduce your cost per acquisition so you are able to scale faster, and also continue finding creative ways not just to monetize your existing customers, but to maximize the value you get from each of those visitors you send on your website and that you actually spent money acquiring. So this is the only way to continue scaling profitably. And the reason why is that when you can increase the customer lifetime value, let's say from $100 to maybe $150, then you have $50 extra that you can spend at the top of the funnel to acquire more customers and continue to scale profitably. And you become very, very competitive in your industry because your competitors cannot do that. So if your competitor is only able to spend, let's say, $30 to acquire a customer before they break even, and you are able to spend maybe $50 or $60, then there is no way for them to be able to compete with you. So if you're already spending money to acquire traffic or acquire customers, whether it's on Meta or Google or TikTok or something like that, we're happy to help you increase your customer lifetime value with a full scale email and SMS system. And our clients generate between 35 to 50% of their total revenue from email SMS. And if you'd like similar results, you can click on the link in the description to schedule a quick 15-minute call with me. I'm happy to offer you a free in-depth audit of your email SMS program or Klaviyo, and I will show you exactly what's missing in your account, what could be improved, and how much more revenue you'll be able to generate when everything is implemented properly. This is completely free with no strings attached, and it's 8 to 10 pages of expert recommendations that are specifically tailored to your brand. So click on the link in the description to schedule a quick call with me. And if you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I also included another link for our free 51-page guide on how you can generate 25% extra revenue for your brand using email and SMS flows or automations. And this is everything I know about the subject. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the 10 core flows that will result in 80% of the revenue you'll be able to generate from these flows. I'm going to show you exactly what emails you can include in each of these flows. And I'm also going to walk you through 7 additional flows so you can maximize the revenue you will generate from email SMS. So click on the last link in the description to get access to this free masterclass.